What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sinceres here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for November 27th, 2020's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this to see what we got good for this week. Okay, so for our first gear items, you want to head over to Camp Hudson. Here the gear vendor has the operator mask with the talent Tenacious on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% ballistic shield health. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the base operations. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Scar L. Here's the stats for this. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid ally heal. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor, and here we got a G36 enhanced. Here's the stats. Also here we got a heavy magazine spring with 4% crit hit damage, 2.50% crit hit chance, and 11% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Cassidy. Also here we got a custom P416 G3. Also here we got a model 700. Also here we got a tactical mask with the talent refreshed on there. Also here we got a tactical pack with the talent inventive on there. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit chance. Also here we got a large suppressor FDE with 19% crit hit damage, 4.50% optimal range, and 2.50% stability. Also here we got a reflex sight with 7% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a surplus SVD blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a classic M44 carbine blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a firearms knee pad blueprint with a gear score of 256. And then also here we got a small laser pointer blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the cavern. Here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent refreshed on there. Here's the stats. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Kerman Station. Here the weapons vendor has an enhanced AUG A3P. Here's the stats. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Camp Clinton. Here the special equipment vendor has a Cassidy. Here's the stats. Also here we got a custom P416 G3. Also here we got a SAS G12. Also here we got a model 700. Also here we got an operator mask with the talent enduring on there. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent vigorous. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% turret health. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a classic M60 blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a classic RPK74 blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a holsters blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a flash hider blueprint with a power level 34. We also got a small laser pointer blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Dante's Run. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3.50% Seeker Mine damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Autumn's Hope. Here the gear vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 192 electronics and 3% damage to elites. And then also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% turret duration. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Madison's Stand. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3.50% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Southpaw. Here the gear vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 261 electronics and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Crypt. Here the weapons vendor has a model 700. Here's the stats. And also here we got a 5.52 hollow sight with 7% crit hit chance, 2.50% stability, and 5.50% headshot damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an M870 Express. Here's the stats. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% mobile cover damage resilience. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 256 firearms and 3,123 skill power. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 39th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a custom M44. Here's the stats. Also here we got a gunslinger vest with the talent reckless on there. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical SAS G12K. Here's the stats. And also here we got a prototype electronics mod with 256 electronics and 3,189 health. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 46th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a SOCOM MK20 SSR. Here's the stats. Also here we got an operator mask with the talent Tenacious on there. And also here we got a Pro Red Dot sight with 18% created damage, 2% accuracy, and 5% optimal range. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Enduring on there. Here's the stats. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5.50% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to East 61st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a large suppressor FDE with 18% crit hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 3% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent refreshed on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit damage. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to East 46th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 6.50% Seeker Mine explosion radius. We also have here a rugged mini reflex sight with 7% crit hit chance, 6% headshot damage, and 4% crit hit damage. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to East 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an enhanced AUG A3P. Here's the stats. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6% sticky bomb explosion radius. And also here we got extended magazine with 110% magazine size, 5% reload speed, and 4.70% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 40th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical MK16. Here's the stats. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Relentless on there. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a custom M870 MCS. Here's the stats. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 4% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a classic AK-47. Here's the stats. Also here we got a gunslinger vest with the talent Reckless on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5% smart cover duration. For our next gear items, you can head over to the 5th Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a covert SRS. Here's the stats. And also here we got a loud vent break with 17% crit hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 5% optimal range. For our next gear items, you can head over to DZ2 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has the operator mask with the talent rehabilitated on there. Here's the stats. Also here we got a tactical vest with the talent vigorous on there. And also here we got some gunslinger gloves with the talent Savage on there. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ3 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a police UMP45. Here's the stats. And also here we got a military SCAR H. Here's the stats for this. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ4 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 7.50% mobile cover health. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ5 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has an Omega rifle suppressor with 17.50% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage, and 5% optimal range. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ8 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Enduring on there. Here's the stats. Also here we got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Vigorous on there. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Inventive on there. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ9 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has an extended magazine with 116% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 4% crit hit damage. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for November 27, 2020's vendor reset. I hope everybody who tuned into it found something that they needed. Smash out that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support. Check me out on Twitch. I stream on there sometimes. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be on there every now and then. And I will see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.